Get ready for a leaning tower of rice griddle cakes today. These are fantastic, and before they fall, let me say my name is Trista and welcome to Vintage Cookbook Nerd. I am here to share my love of reading cookbooks cover to cover. And this recipe is from 1928 from the Delineator Cookbook. So let's dive right into the ingredients and how to make leftover rice into a delicious breakfast for you and your family and your guests. Today we're going to be using one of my favorite vintage cookbooks. It is the Delineator Cookbook from the Delineator Home Institute. And it's just a beautiful treasure trove. As you can see, it's very old. I just love this place setting here. It is from 1928, and I've just loved reading every single page of this book. Today we are going to be making rice griddle cakes with leftover rice. So it's a great way to use up ingredients you have left over. So let's check out this recipe. These pancakes are looking so yummy on the griddle. Yum. So our first step in making these rice griddle cakes is to take a cup of cooked rice. Here I have some brown rice. I ended up making this mostly fresh because the rice I thought I had saved, somebody ate from the refrigerator, but that's okay. So this rice is really hot. I had a tiny bit of rice that was left over from the fridge. So I'm gonna go with that. And then I have some really, really hot milk. It's 1 cup, so 1 cup of each. And normally you would soak this overnight, but I am going to try and speed this up by, well, both the ingredients are really, really hot. So I'm gonna soak this for about an hour with a clean towel over it, and we will see how the rest of this goes. It should be really delicious. Let's check it out. So now it's time to check the rice. It's been soaking in the warm milk for an hour, and then I also ended up heating it up a little bit to soften it up a little bit more. And I'd say it's pretty soft. So ideally you would leave this out overnight. Here's what it looks like. However, if you're in more of a rush, I think this kind of soaking heat up method works well. So I'm gonna go with that. It's okay to try things a different way in recipes. So let me show you what ingredients we have here, and then we will mix things up. We've got some baking powder. There's 2 teaspoons of that. It says shortening, but I'm using butter here, 1 tablespoon, kind of cut up into small pieces. It didn't say to melt it, so I'm just leaving it as that. Then we have a tablespoon of sugar, some kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon. We have 1 beaten egg. We have another cup of milk. And then we have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So basically what we are going to do is take this soaked mixture and we are going to put in the rest of the ingredients before we cook them on our griddle on the stove. So let me get this in here all the way. Oops. And then baking powder, salt. I always use kosher salt just because it's my favorite, but you can use another salt. I am really a huge breakfast person. If I could eat it for every meal, I mean, I like other meals too, but the more breakfast, the better. So any kind of new pancake recipes, I absolutely love. What are your favorite pancakes? Let me know. I also love going out to brunch and breakfast. I work as a pastry chef on the weekends, so I don't get to go out to brunch very often unless I can find a place during the week that serves it, but that's doesn't happen very often, so I love to make breakfast for dinner instead. And my family will be trying these tonight. So anyways, this is a nice thick mixture that we are supposed to mix up first. Get that really incorporated. I love how the rice is looking in here. See how thick and nice that is? So let's mix that up. Get those chunks of butter sort of incorporated a little. Okay, so now let's add the beaten egg. Get all that in there. Now I admit I like spices, so even though it's not in the recipe, I'm adding a teaspoon of cinnamon. You can choose to leave that out if you want, but I am a huge seasoning person, so I like to have a little more seasoning in there, and the cinnamon smells so good. Yum. So I am really excited to get these cooked up. What do you like to put on your pancakes? I love kind of really melty butter. Oops, I made a bit of a mess there. That's all right. And maple syrup. I also love peanut butter or any nut butter. This is looking so pretty. And you know, it reminds me of when I was a kid, I used to sometimes have leftover rice for breakfast. I would heat it up, put cinnamon sugar on it, and then kind of carefully pour the milk around it. And wow, if you have not tried that, that is great. So I'm really hoping this is reminiscent of that, and it really smells like that to me. So this will be a nice thick batter, and then we are going to head on over to the stove and cook our pancake. So while the griddle here, this is a cast iron griddle. My words were escaping me. Anyway, a cast iron griddle. I have a plate full of pieces of butter because this is how I want to grease the griddle. And in between pancakes, it might need a little extra butter. So I'm just keeping this on hand here. And as I heat up this griddle, I have it kind of at a medium temperature because I don't want to burn the pancakes. It's a little harder to cook these on the stove. I usually cook them in an electric skillet, but since this is a 1920s recipe, I think this is a little more accurate as far as it would have been. I've got my butter nearly melted here, and then I have my batter, and then over here I've got a plate where I can put the finished pancakes, and then I have a 1/4 cup measure. I like to use this to kind of measure out my pancakes, or griddle cakes as these are called. So that is looking really nice. Let's get these on the stove. So you can use I would say any rice in this recipe that you have left over. Or in my case, I had to make fresh rice, which is totally fine. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be able to get 3 pancakes I do not want to crowd them too much. Here we go. All right, so I'm waiting for bubbles to show up and for the edges to be dry. So we're gonna come back in a couple minutes and check to see how the pancakes are doing. So these are looking ready to flip. They've got dry edges and they have, oh, this is a, I'm gonna need to use a hot pad here. Sticking just a little bit, but oh, that's looking lovely. And yeah, once the edges are dry around all the sides and there's lots of bubbles in the top, that's when you want to flip them. And yeah, hopefully they won't stick too much. But yeah, those are looking lovely. It's smelling really buttery and just fantastic. Yum. So, ooh, I probably should have put more butter on there. Sometimes these skillets are a little bit sticky, but that's all right. Let's see here. Cooking well on the other side. So I'll come back in a moment when these are done and we'll take a look at our first stack of pancakes. This is looking so good. Rice griddle cake. Little update on the pancakes before we go to the family tasting. I have nibbled at a bit of these pancakes with melted butter and maple syrup. Oh my gosh, you guys, they are so good. I'm gonna have to have one more little bite of this. So it does remind me of when I used to eat the leftover rice with cinnamon sugar as a kid with milk, but it's even better because it's got butter and maple syrup on it. So these are a huge winner. I really highly encourage you to make these, but stick around to the end to see what my husband and son think of them, and I will see you soon. Thank you for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment below on what breakfast foods you love and what you think of this recipe. Thank you. All right, the whole family's here to try these rice griddle cakes with some maple syrup on them. They look really yummy.
So what are these exactly?
So you cook rice, you soak it in milk.
White rice, brown rice?
I use brown rice in these, but any leftover rice you have, and then
Spanish
just
rice?
make kind of, well, you could if you want to make like a savory pancake. There's not much sugar in it.
Okay,
but,
so you cook the rice.
Yep, and then you soak it in milk, and then you make like a batter, like a pancake batter with the soaked rice in there.
Okay.
You should try a savory one. That's a really good idea.
Oh yeah, actually, well next time I almost did use the Spanish rice. I was
Careful, they're
curious.
hot.
I love how super moist it is.
Ooh,
And it
that's
has
hot.
kind of the bite of the rice a little
Was
bit.
yours hot?
Yeah.
Sorry, I heated it up a little bit too much. What do you think, Adam?
That's delicious.
Thank you.
I might even like it more than regular pancakes.
Yeah, I actually have to agree. Like, I might have to always put leftover rice in the pancakes.
I'm approved.
It just has, like, I don't know, like it's even fluffier. It just has more, I don't know. I really love the texture of these.
It actually kind of makes them a little dense.
Yeah, I
but
think
in
that's
a nice
it.
way, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Spanish rice pancakes next.
Yeah. Maybe
Just
put,
leave
like,
out the sugar.
bacon bits in there. And
Oh my gosh, that sounds great.
Mm.
I'm definitely going to do that. Great idea. Thanks.
Really good.
So glad it was a hit. Definitely try these for holiday guests. Bye.